They tell you sometimes leave your baggage at home, and talk hosts bring their baggage to work. That's what we do. We tell our life story because it reflects your life story. And I wear my emotions on my sleeve, as you know, and that's just the way it is, and I make no apologies for it. I found it very difficult when my close friend, and he's one of my boys, Jeff Cohen, was dying, and he didn't want anyone to know. In fact, it aggravated me. Everybody dies different, man. Yeah. Yep. It made me mad, though. I felt like I sent his daughter a note last night, his daughter, Allie, who's a wonderful girl, just got married, and I think she knew he was dying, so she got married before he died. I think she wanted him to be happy. And I'm asking you just to give me a couple minutes because I think it's important when we lose people we love to manage the emotions and then understand or try to manage the grief. I sent Allie Cohen a note and I said, your dad was a tough man to love. And she said, yeah, I know. But we loved him nonetheless. And I wanted to play this clip. And we got a lot to get to today, but I wanted to kind of start off with what means the most to me because I'm a talk host, and this is my talk show for the time being. Listen to Jeff Cohen.
When you can help people, which you do, which I can do, is nothing better than, especially someone in need. And the things you do to help people is just tremendous because when people are down, they need help. And you know yourself, when you had your issues a couple of years ago, it's pretty scary. It's lonely. And, you have so many people that support you when you need help, and they just do it.
That's why I loved him. He got it. He got me. He called me Griffey. You understand? I was annoying. So was he, actually. We kind of annoyed each other, and it kind of formed a bond of annoyance. He owns Smallman Street Deli, Weiss Provisions, probably $20 million business, insanely successful. He got really bad cancer about, Patrick, how long ago was that? You have a better memory for these things than I do. Is it 6 months?
I mean, I think we're going on a couple of years here, Marty.
No.
He got really bad the last 6 months. Yeah, you're right. He's been fighting for a while.
And my point is for context in how these diseases affect people. His wife, Phyllis, they told her when he was first diagnosed, they literally told her he had 2 weeks to live. Yeah. And again, I'm giving you this for context in how the hell do we manage grief and death and life. But Cohen never said no to me. He gave away thousands and thousands of sandwiches to charity, gift cards, probably the best steaks in America in our Warmathon. In fact, my man Chad Quinn from the Warmathon sent me a note that Cohen probably contributed over the years $100,000 in net. Love the man. Did not want to anyone to understand that he was dying, and that aggravated me because he deserved love and kindness and gratitude. For context, and anyone out there that's watched someone die, because at this point in my life, I have both watched people die on the streets in homicides, quite frankly, in Waco, Texas, quite frankly, in Oklahoma City, and 15 other friggin' mass incidents I've been at. And then I watched my father die. And now we're watching my sister die. But at my sister's house, and it's small, it's in Wheeling, West Virginia, there's at least 40 people in our house every day. It's carnival. Because we love her. And she loves that love. And you gotta love her. And people deserve that. I remember when my father was dying, he was in hospice. And it's obviously a horrible situation to watch your dad die. And I remember this as if it was yesterday. They were, at the time, because he'd been dying for a couple of weeks, and we were there every day and every night. And at the time, in the room where he was in the bed, there were probably 40 people. We were all standing elbow to elbow. And we were laughing and telling jokes, and people were singing. And we found joy in the last moments with my dying father. And my point is, if we don't do that, then we spend our life dying ourselves. And we can't. We can't. And my man Cohen was a humble success story. And a wonderful man and a good friend. And he never said no. Ever. And at the end of the day, when you leave here, this earth, do you want to leave as a guy who made a difference? Because Cohen did. My man Cohen sure as hell did. I found it fascinating how we prepare for death. And I know it's kind of morbid, but one of my close friends died. And I was just talking to Larry about this, and I did this with my father-in-law yesterday, Gary. He's at our house, and his health is failing. And his wife, my mother-in-law, is in the hospital right now in Montefiore. She has a pneumonia and the flu. And my point is, I told my wife this, and I sat down with Gary yesterday, and I was very clear about how much we love him and how much he's meant to our family. And quite frankly, Gary has been very successful. Without Gary, we're not in our house. He paid our down payment to get into the house 25 years ago. He made that. And my point is that I told my wife that we can have no regrets. None. We've got to tell the folks that we love them before they die. Not in some eulogy after. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean squat. No one cares what I have to say to a group of people in a church after my sister dies. It's what I have to say to her before she dies. I remember sitting in my father's room when he was in ICU when he was dying and going through very detailed, as we both cried, how much I loved him and how much he meant to me. You cannot look back and say, damn it, this sucks. I wish I would have told him I loved him. You can't. Cohen was tough to love. He was tough. He's a pain in the ass to love. He was. But a lot of us are. But you got to break through it, and you got to do it, because when they're gone, man, you can't call them unless I checked. And I told my father-in-law this yesterday. I really did. I said, we love you. And if something happens to you, I want you to know that now. Because for some reason, I won't be able to call you or write you or hug you or tell you this after you're gone. And we're grateful. And we're thanking God that you're here. We can't also get bitter about the loss of loved ones. I got 3 kids, man. They can't have a whining, complaining dad who's dark now. I'm dark, man, now, because one of my close friends died and my sister's about to die. I can't do that. I am the light in their lives, as my wife is. We are it, man. We're the sun and the moon, man. We are. And if we check out, they'll check out. It's just that important that we stay in tune to this. And I want you to do that. I'm bringing back the story. I've told you this before. You can't have regrets about not loving someone that's yours, your kid, your spouse, your father, your mother, your brother, your sister. You can't. My friend hadn't talked to his daughter in 5 years, and he heard me making this. I was begging people to make amends with their loved ones before they died. And I begged people, drive to their house and sit on the steps. And he did that. He hadn't talked to his daughter in 5 years. She answered the door. In the 5 years she had been married and had a baby, and the baby was there, and so was the husband. And they cried and hugged and loved each other again. Hey, I don't have all the answers, but I know for damn sure that feeling bad about the fact that you didn't love someone while they were alive once they're dead ain't helping no one. No one. Send them the flowers while they're alive, man. Squeeze their hand and tell them you love them. Probably not how you expected me to start this show today. I don't care. To me, life and family and love and managing that is more significant than whether or not we should fire Tomlin. I don't give a flying rat's behind about that man. Guy's $100 million. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. Go ahead, Andy. Thanks for rolling, brother.
Hey, Marty. This is Andy Pakler. Thanks for taking the call.
Sure, pal.
Good friend of Jeff Cohen for a long time, and it took me a little bit to dig up the courage to give you a call. I coached basketball with Jeff at Taylor Alderdice on some of the best teams that ever came through that school. And to be sitting here first thing Monday morning talking about our guy like this is I mean, it's tough. Yeah. It's tough. Today's my 44th birthday, and I'm dedicating the day to my guy. And spent all day yesterday thinking about him all day today. And first, I want to thank you for taking the time this morning to honor our guy. And the things that you're saying are so poignant, you know, and it's important that people hear this kind of stuff. But Jeff, I mean, first of all, he talked about you all the time. You know, he did. He talked about you all the time. And I know you guys were boys. Yeah. And this guy gave me so much advice throughout my life and throughout my early basketball coaching career. I mean, the biggest thing that he would always make sure that I was doing it the right way.
Nice.
I mean, he sat next to me on the bench at Alderdice for almost 10 years, and we would go back and forth at times. You know? Yeah. I mean, he would say he would say things to me, and I'd say, "You're absolutely wrong." You know, no, it's not time to do that yet. No, I'm not ready. You know, it's not time to empty the bench. And he'd look at me and he'd say, "Pack, you're up 20 points. Put the kids at the end of the bench in, sit in a 2-3, do the right thing."
That's amazing.
No one. And then he would say to me, "You know, no one's going to care whether you win or lose this game. No one cares." You know, and I think for people that knew him, they can hear him saying that.
Oh, yeah.
No one cares. And he would say, what matters the most is how people remember you. And like he used to tell me that stuff every single day. And then we'd have these long chats. I mean, long, about life, about basketball, about business, about how to treat people, about his company, about my company, and our relationship just got so deep over the years, you know. I just was extremely fortunate to have this guy in my life. And, I mean, it's a huge loss. It's a loss for his family. It's a huge loss for our community. It's a big loss for the city. And
he had a big impact. My man, we're going to hear from the mayor.
Yeah.
Because he was always talking to the mayor, whether the mayor wanted to hear it or not. We're going to hear from Fitz because he was always talking to Fitz, whether he wanted to hear it or not. You know what I'm saying, don't you?
I mean, he would give me quotes every day from Clint Hurdle. He would send me Clint Hurdle's emails. Yeah. He would say, and I'm sure you were on those email chains, you know, about just how to make your life better, how to treat people, how to enjoy your life. And I think the coolest thing that you said was how humble he was. Oh, yeah. You know, I mean, he was a very successful guy, yet he was always extremely humble. And he would get on me about that, too, as a salesman. He would talk to me about how humble I need to be. And, you know.
He's a hell of a man, brother.
I mean, it's just,
Thanks,
yeah,
Andy.
I mean, it's just good.
He talked about you all the time, my man. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Marty.
All right, man. Jeff Cohen. I know you don't know him, but you know what I'm talking about. Family, commitment, community, making a difference, and loving someone while they're here, man. While they're here.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/JOY.
When it comes to building Pennsylvania's future, the laborers are on the job. From highways and bridges to schools, hospitals, energy projects, the men and women of the Pennsylvania Laborers District Council deliver the skilled work that keeps our communities moving forward. Joe LaQuatra is leading the charge to train the next generation, protect worker safety, and stand up for fair wages and benefits. When laborers build, Pennsylvania grows stronger. The Pennsylvania Laborers District Council, working hard every day. My people. Maybe the most amazing thing that Robert Levin and Levin Furniture do is this amazing program we have right now. They're having 5 families in need, providing them with free furniture this holiday season. This Levin's Furniture for Families program. He announced it on this show, helping a deserving family. Go to the Get Marty section of kdkradio.com. Nominate a family. Get Marty section of kdkradio.com. Nominate a family. 5 families will get $5,000 worth of furniture, Levin Furniture, and a $500 gift card. Details at kdkradio.com.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
30 with cloudy skies at 10:30. I'm Paul Rasmussen. A winter weather advisory will start at midnight. A mix of snow and freezing rain is expected tomorrow with as much as 3 to 4 inches of snow in the Tuesday morning forecast. New energy rates are going into effect today for most Pennsylvanians. News Radio KDKA's David Bolorado has the story.
For the roughly 75% of residential customers who don't shop for a power supplier, rates are changing today as part of the semi-annual adjustments that occur each June and December 1st. For Duquesne Light customers, rates are jumping 10.6%. Penn Power and West Penn Power each up a little more than 6%. Nils Hagen Fredrickson of the PUC says a big factor, higher natural gas prices are making generating power more expensive.
And because natural gas prices have continued to move upward, especially over the last 2 years, because there's a global market and a global appetite for gas and the electricity that's generated by gas, those prices have continued to move upward.
If you do shop around for suppliers, she says make sure you pay attention to the duration of your contract because the monthly price could skyrocket after it ends. David Bolorado, News Radio KDKA.
As has been the case in Pittsburgh, closures are being discussed in the Laurel Highlands School District. News Radio KDKA's Rob Taylor has details.
A reorganizational meeting is scheduled for this evening for the Laurel Highlands School District Board, and the topic at hand is possibly closing 3 elementary schools, R.W. Clark, Hatfield, and Hutchinson. No final decisions can be made before the public gets a chance to weigh in on the matter. The Herald Standard reports enrollment in the district is down almost 1,000 students from 20 years ago. A feasibility study done on the district found that bringing the elementary school buildings up to code and making them educationally sustainable would cost up to $57 million, but closing 3 of the 4 elementary schools would obviously result in significant financial savings. Rob Taylor, News Radio, KDKA.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 326 points at 47,391. The NASDAQ is down 149 and the S&P down 37 points. KDKA Radio News Time, 10:32. Our next update at 11 on The Voice of Pittsburgh. News Radio KDKA.
Can you recall the wonderful nostalgic Christmases of days gone by with old-fashioned rocking horses and teddy bears under the tree, the sparkling glow of delicate porcelain dolls sitting there waiting to be loved, and the brightly colored handcrafted wooden puppets and marionettes almost dancing to the twinkling of enchanting music boxes? Well, you can recapture this feeling today by visiting S.W. Randall Toys and Gifts. The endless array of old-fashioned metal toys, cuddly stuffed animals, and magnificent dolls will fascinate you, while the sounds of animated toys and trains can be heard in the background. At S.W. Randall Downtown Store, discover an enchanting Christmas shop with hand-done wooden nutcrackers, nesting dolls, and other unique gifts from around the world. S.W. Randall has 3 locations, Squirrel Hill, Shadyside, and Smithfield Street downtown, or on the web at swrandalltoys.com. Start a family tradition. Shop at S.W. Randall and discover the feeling of yesterday, today.
Hey, folks, 'tis the season to get your home quite clean before Christmas. Save big. Call Coit right now. Save 50% off all your first Coit cleaning service. Save 40% off all other services. That's right. Ask Santa to put Coit on your Christmas list. Save 50% off either carpets, rugs, upholstery, drapes and blinds, and more. Call Coit. 1-800-FOR-COIT. 1-800-FOR-COIT. Also, give the gift of a clean home with Coit gift cards. 1-800-FOR-COIT.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Why not give the child in your life the gift of investing this holiday season? Financial advisor Ed Jertson says you can set up a low-cost brokerage account with a few simple investments and then watch the money grow with consistent contributions.
So they can see the eighth wonder of the world, the miracle of compounding over the months and years to come.
Unlike toys or clothes, he says, the investment account will build value for years. I'm Rob Hart.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
Holiday shopping is in full swing. Don't forget the most important thing on your list, individual and family coverage from UPMC Health Plan. Open enrollment runs through January 15th, so put a plan in your cart before it's too late. Their convenient plans give you access to an extended network and great coverage. UPMC First Care offers a $0 copay for a variety of visits. They'll even give you access to a healthcare concierge who's like a personal shopper. To get started, visit upmchealthplan.com/marketplace.
Well, I'm the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser. Ellen, what's up?
Oh, what's up, Marty, is minimal delays if folks are just now heading out the door for their commute or if they are just heading back out of town after a long holiday weekend. No major accidents or problems in your way. Parkway West on the inbound side is just slow at the Banksville on-ramp before the Fort Pitt tunnels. The drive out toward the airport in the western suburbs is fine on 376. Parkway East inbound is slow for you just at Edgewood Swissvale. More sign installation for the wrong way detection system is happening along Route 28, so watch for lane restrictions this week. A single lane and shoulder restriction will happen on the southbound 28 off-ramp to the 40th Street Bridge and also the Lawrenceville exit. That's 3A. This is happening weekdays 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. through this Friday, the 5th. With AAA Traffic, I'm Ellen Gamble on 100.1 FM at AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For tonight, a stray flurry in the area, low of 28, mainly cloudy for tomorrow, high of 35. Tomorrow night, snow returns late at night, continues into Tuesday, producing 1 to 3 inches of snow for the area. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Benz, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
I constantly try to teach my son about relationships. And old school guys like myself and Cohen in the relationships that we have. And my man JK in Oakmont, he owns like 30 restaurants, relationships. And Cohen was all about relationships. Cohen, as I used to tell him, was more connected than Jesus and never held back. Ever. Ever. How do I know this? Two men that over the years probably took, 500 calls from Cohen. No exaggeration. Two leaders. Two men that I love dearly and have a big role in the future of this town. But believe me, they heard from Cohen. Corey O'Connor, the mayor. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. How are you, Marty?
Tough day. Cohen was a big part of your life, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up with Jeff. I coached against him in Little League, and his son, I've known very well throughout the years, and competitive athlete there. But, Jeff was always somebody that, as you said right before I got on, he would call with his opinions. And, I just went through my phone, and because I know he texted me just within the last few days, actually. And, and he sent a text, "Hey, C, you got to do something about this. This isn't working."
Yes!
I was like, okay, thanks. But, yeah, I mean, it's an old school guy that really cared about his business, cared about his family, cared about his city.
Yep.
And, did everybody has arguments? Yeah, they do, but they know that their heart's in it.
Yep.
And, and it's always good to have somebody who's going to be honest. You don't want somebody, especially in the jobs that I've had in the past, I don't want somebody to say, "Oh, that's great." No, I want you to give me your opinion. And Jeff was on a very short list that I would say, "Hey, I'm going to do this. What are your thoughts?"
No, there's no question.
And, I think that's what you need. Everybody needs people like that.
Yeah, I want to grab Rich Fitzgerald. Good morning, Fitz. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, Marty. It's a tough day. And when you sent me that text yesterday, I mean, I knew Jeffrey was in tough health, and it's a sad day. And I agree with the mayor. I think of Jeff. He was always up at the ball field coaching or in the gym coaching. He cared. He really did care. Obviously, starting with his wife Phyllis and his son AJ and his daughter Allie, started with them. But he cared about his community.
Yep.
And you're right. People like Mayor-elect and myself, back when I was county executive, we would be getting calls and texts. "You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do that. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that?" And he did care. And, so many connections. You're right. The contacts. My kids worked at his store.
Oh, yeah.
Over the summers. And, Jeff's going to be missed. There's no question.
Both of you know this because I was as close to him as both of you were, and he was involved in my life and with my kids and my family. He was annoying sometimes, and you would tell him, he'd say, "All right, but do it anyway." You know what I mean? We loved him because my man never let up, did he, Mayor?
No, I would say, Marty, he would always say, with regards to you, he said, "You know what, I don't like this. I'm going on Griffin to tell him my thoughts." So I was like, okay, let's go for it. And then he said, "Did you listen to Marty?" And look, Marty, no disrespect, but I wasn't listening 24/7.
No, you weren't. Sir.
But if something was said on your show, Jeff would definitely make sure I heard about it. And I think, it's somebody like that, again, as, the county exec said, is if he had a passion for everything. And I think he had an opinion for everything. Yep. But that's what made him unique. And he didn't care what room he was in. He was going to tell you his opinion. And, he felt better about himself about doing that. And we felt better because we heard a difference of opinion or the same opinion, and he was agreeing with you.
Hey, Fitz, you said something really poignant, and I know the mayor knows this. He was really involved. Heck, he kind of watched Corey grow up, and he was really involved in the lives of your kids, Fitz, right?
Very much so. Very much so. Like I said, he coached them, coached against them. He was very active in the community. I don't know where the guy found all the time. He ran a couple businesses, both the retail business and the wholesale business, and he was a great businessman, truly a great businessman.
Brilliant.
Even though he would complain every time you talk, you can't make money in this business anymore. I think I heard that for 30 years. I find, Jeff, how you paying your bills? You keep losing money every year. There's this tax, that tax, this cost of meat, the cost of this. And and Jeff was great. You enjoyed it, and he drove you crazy in many ways. But I think Corey said it well. He cared. He really did care about his community. I think the latest one, being in the Strip District, the Smallman Street or Penn Avenue bike lane issue. He cared about that. He cared about so many different things. But he was a true Pittsburgher. And I'll go even further. He was a Squirrel Hill institution.
Oh yeah, man.
Up at the JCC or at the Letterman Field, he was just. People knew Jeffrey, and he cared about his community.
Hey, Mayor, he had that DNA like your father. He had that work ethic like your father. Kind of that old school. Like Cohen would text me on a Sunday and say, "I'm headed to Oakmont Country Club with fillets," and he would complain about it, but he did it. He had that special work ethic that the old school guys had, right, Corey?
Oh, he did. I mean, not only that, you knew you were going to go to the shop and he was going to be there. Yep. Or, if he wasn't there, he was out doing a delivery. And I think that shows, credit to him how hard he worked for himself and his family. And, he was a family man first. And I think, now that you see the family running the business, it's very old school, but it was also good that when you stopped in for, a corned beef or pastrami sandwich, Jeff was going to be there talking to people, and he would give you information. Hey, I heard this was happening. Did you know about it?
So true.
And I think we lose that nowadays because you want that restaurateur, local business owner, whether it's a barbershop or coffee shop, whatever it is, to be there hearing from people on the streets and giving us info. It actually helps us to do our job by hearing from individuals like Jeff and owners like that across Pittsburgh.
Hey, Fitz, he was old school, man. He drove an old car. He wore old shoes. He wore sweatpants. He didn't give a damn about being wealthy. And we lose that, too. And you know what he would be, Fitz? If he was alive, because I was thinking about this morning, he would be so annoyed that I was talking about him on the radio for an hour. He'd be so annoyed.
But he would love to. He would call in and criticize you how you did it. We didn't talk about this. We talk about the tariffs or parking or whatever it might be. There's always an issue that Jeff was engaged in. And you're right. He was just a regular guy. I mean, a very, very successful businessman. Had one of the businesses in the Strip way before the Strip became what it became, this neighborhood of growth. Jeff was there way back when, before that really happened. And he was just, I think, Mayor says it, a hard worker. He would go that extra mile to deliver that. If somebody needed a product on a Sunday morning, he was going to be up early to take it. And I think, he gave those values to his kids who are now carrying on the business and doing well. And, Jeff, he was also a great athlete. People don't realize that. He was a very, very good, college athlete. A baseball pitcher, and could really teach people how, young kids, how to do things. And he passed some of that knowledge on. There's so much to Jeff that, again, you're right. He drove a lot of people crazy, but at the end of the day, he was trying to make things better.
He's my man. Mayor, thank you. Thank you, Fitz. Appreciate you both.
No, thanks for having us.
All right, boys. Up next is his closest friend. Honestly, his closest friend, KJ, the man. Oh, I feel like texting him. It gets so weird when someone passes. From the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, AAA Traffic powered by Bowser. Ellen, what's up?
What's up, Marty, it's a pretty decent drive if you do have to head out and about here. A lot of folks apparently taking the long weekend and extending it just a bit, so our rush hour was lighter than normal, but we still have a few delays left. Parkway West on the inbound side is fluctuating a bit. Right now it's a little heavier and stacking right around that runaway truck sand pile before you fit into and through those Fort Pitt tunnels and into the Golden Triangle. Behind the Liberty tunnels, just traffic light delays for you by comparison. 51 and 19 at their intersection are rolling pretty well with few delays there. Parkway East inbound is a little bit slow for you at Edgewood Swissvale. And a quick reminder, crews continuing to work in the 1700 block of Jamestown Place in Penn Hills near Hollywood Drive with an earlier accident there. With AAA Traffic, I'm Ellen Gamble on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Listen to the Marty Griffin Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This holiday, give the gift of peace of mind with a AAA membership, the ultimate stocking stuffer for the ones you love. Enjoy exclusive savings on shopping, dining, theme parks, and even travel planning. Plus, 24/7 roadside assistance you can always count on. Right now, gift a membership for just $35 and get a free household member. They'll even thank you with a $20 gift card. Visit AAA.com/gift. AAA, we're always with you.
Kimberly Allen here with Corrigan Moving Systems. Planning to move your office or business? Trust Corrigan Moving Systems, formerly Parks Moving and Storage, Pittsburgh's leader in workplace solutions. From office relocations to decommissioning, warehousing, and inventory management. Corrigan makes moving seamless so your office can be back up and running without skipping a beat. For a free quote, go to CorriganMoving.com or give us a call at 724-237-4578.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh.
Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company. While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want while you sleep. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richard, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. Wake up to your friends. Weekday mornings on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Is there constantly someone in the family fighting a cold? Fight back with Sniper, a hospital-grade disinfectant that kills viruses and bacteria, and it won't hurt your skin, your pets, or our environment. Hi, this is Larry Richard. Get Sniper. It's safe to use in your home and office. Simply spray and walk away to kill germs for maximum protection. Pick up a bottle of Sniper at your local True Value store or visit disinfectwithsniper.com. Get it now. Trucking isn't just for drivers. PGT Trucking needs professional staff to help support their men and women out on the road with positions in safety, recruiting, driver training, fleet management, maintenance, and more. You too can join the proud professionals of PGT and play a major role in the supply chain. Ditch the boring desk job. Get in on the action with PGT. Call 1-800-TEAM-PGT or apply online at pgttrucking.com/work. That's pgttrucking.com/work.
Here's your Jill on Money question of the day.
Jeff from California asks, what's your opinion on savings apps like Acorns or Robinhood? Jeff, I'm pretty much all in on anything that encourages you to save your money and to get a jump start on retirement. That includes where you bank. Most institutions make it very easy to save and invest, but there are some apps that I do like better than others, and to be honest, you should try to stick to the ones that keep you on track. Just beware that some of the gimmicks that some of these apps provide make it like a game or gambling. This is not about gambling. It is about your financial future.
Have a question? Go to JillOnMoney.com.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy, so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
Have an issue in your community? Talk about it now with Marty Griffin. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Jeff Cohen's closest friend is KJ. Who has faced his own grief recently, as we all do, and crossing that grief threshold is an arduous task and sometimes impossible to manage. KJ, joining me this morning. Hi, Kevin. How are you, sir? How are you holding up?
Marty, I'm holding up. It's it's really tough to lose a great friend like Jeff, and he certainly really defined friendship. I mean, I've known him for 30 years, and he pursued friendship with an intensity and a vigor that I never had. But it was hard not to be his friend because he would call you every day, and he never stopped pursuing it, never stopped calling, and he sold me steaks and appeared at my restaurant and called me day in, day out, and day in and day out, and before you knew it, you had a bond that was going to last forever.
Had a lot to do with the longevity and success of the Carlton. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, there's no question. When we met back in 1995, it was at a restaurant association dinner, and Jeff had just gotten out of the shoe business and into the meat business and really did not know a whole lot. And at some time during that night, he asked my wife what my shoe size was. And the next day, he shows up in my office with a pair of shoes. And I said, Jeff, do you want to sell me meat or do you want to sell me shoes? Because if you want to sell me shoes, that's fine. But if you want to sell me meat, I don't want to see shoes. And from that moment on, and at the time, he had bought a company that really was a corned beef manufacturer. I mean, they made phenomenal corned beef, but he had never cut a steak. He had never cut a veal chop. He was not in that side of the business yet, but he wanted to be in that side of the business. And he wanted me to help through my restaurant get him there. And so a couple of days went by, and my chef and I drove over to his plant. At the time, it was in the South Side, and I was buying all my meat from the Chicago stockyards when they were still independent. They were a premier company, and I brought him my veal chop, I brought him my lamb chops, I brought him my strip steak, my fillet, everything cryovac, and I put them on his table, and I said, when you can do this, then come talk to me. And it was about 5 or 6 weeks later, he called me and said, I think we're ready for you. And went back and took a look at the products, and he earned my business, and I never went back. I mean, he cut my steaks from that moment in 1995 until the day we closed, which was the closing because of the pandemic.
Hey, Kev, I want to get to his illness because this is the conundrum I faced with him, and you know this because I would confide in Kevin. And I told Allie this, his daughter, who I love to death. He was a tough man to love because he didn't want guys like us surrounding him and caring for him and loving him, even though both of us, me and you, knew he was dying. And that bothered me. And I know it bothered you. What was it about him that was so reserved and wanted to just, don't tell anyone I'm dying? Bothered me.
Well, he was very selfless, and he did not want anyone to know. He guarded that illness. He was very private, and if he found out that you told anybody, he was very angry with you. We had probably our only disagreements were over me telling someone about him being ill, and then them getting back to him. He really did not like
me
that.
Because I found out he got a stair lift in his house. All I said was, my man, I would have done that for you for nothing. He was mad. And I loved him for that, man. Yeah. That was Jeff.
Well, he was probably mad because I told you.
Yeah.
But you know what? You would never find a better friend,
no
as
way,
you know,
man.
Marty.
No
He would do anything for you, and his whole life. I mean, it was all about business. It was all about community.
Yep.
It was all about coaching.
Yep.
He was always giving back. He sat on the board at Point Park. He did a lot of stuff with the Restaurant Association. God, we sat across from Fitz. We sat across from Fitz so many times in those county council meetings fighting the drink tax back in the day.
Yep.
We were a thorn in their sides. But, I mean, he cared. He was involved, and he was relentless. And I mean, you had to love that about him. You would never find a more dedicated father. I mean, he was involved in Allie's life and AJ's life, all of their life. He talked to his kids every day, each and every day, without fail. And AJ was up there coaching at Boston College, and they never missed a phone call. They never ever missed a beat. He was all about all the good things in life is what he was about.
KJ, I loved him, man. And I love you too, brother. Thank you.
Well, it's always good talking to you, Marty. Have a great day, pal.
When I was had moved back to Pittsburgh, and I was hanging with Andy Sheehan and Paul Martino. We're the investigative team. This is the truth. We would go and get the car keys. We would steal them from the newsroom. And we weren't supposed to do this, but who cares? 4 days a week, we would steal a car from the TV station and go to Smallman Street Deli and have lunch. And Jeff Cohen would sit there with us and talk about the city and what mattered. He's a hell of a man. With a big old brain and a big old heart. And he did love me. He was very, very loyal. And he will be greatly missed. And KJ was the man. They were boys, man. Forevermore. Jeff Cohen, old school.